Hello, and today I'm going to be giving you a little beginner's tutorial on how to play Roblox Pilgrammed. So when you spawn in, you're going to talk to this guy, and he's going to show you the basics of the game, and you really want to listen to him, because he gives some important feedback. When you're done talking to him, you're going to head out here. And after you've made it out here, don't worry about this guy, he's pretty useless. You want to jump down, don't worry about fall damage, and head over to this town. You can speak to the NPCs, particularly this one, but try and speak to them all, and learn what each of them do. Like this guy, he sells stuff, this guy sells other stuff, this guy sells archer clothing. If you want to change your avatar, go over here and talk to this man for absolutely free. Now the banker is really important. As you can tell, I have some money over here. Whenever you get money from destroying enemies, you want to make sure to deposit it if you have a lot, because if you die, you lose half of your money. And that's kind of what you want to do. You want to talk to these guys, get some quests, and then you'll progress through the game. It's like this guy, stab some trees, and they'll drop apples, and you can give them apples. And from here on, after you've kind of completed this town, you've managed to kill thieves, which are these guys. You just want to stab them and parry them to not die. After you're done with this, you want to go from the town over here. You want to cross this bridge. This is where several areas are. Don't worry about this guy. If you go to the right, there's the savannah, and if you go to the left, there's the swamp. We don't worry about that for now. We go this way. Keep in mind you should have armor, just a little bit of armor, and preferably weapons. If you don't know how to do that, you should be mining ores in caves and around the area to get resources. Now here's the desert. It's kind of like I would say the next area for the game. It's like the second easiest area. When you go through the desert, if you can outrun these guys, I'd recommend going over here. And when you find this intersection with the sign, you want to go up. And for like every area that has like a building in it or something, like an outpost or whatnot, you want to check all the buildings, talk to all the people, and most importantly, collect mirrors. Basically, if you use a mirror, you can teleport in between areas. Right now there's a dust storm, so you can't see much, but here you can mine new ores, talk to new merchants who sell better items, and yada yada. After that, you kind of have a basic understanding of the game. For these guys, I recommend not really engaging into them until you have at least like a sword from up there, because for beginners they're pretty hard. For me, not too hard, but the next area is Volcano, and to get to that area you want to go through this desert over to here. By the way, after kind of like this, there's no real progression, since you can kind of explore areas, and they can drop lower tier loot than in the area you were just in before. You got some fire guys, they're pretty annoying. You got new ore. By the way, you need to have an upgraded pickaxe. You don't need this pickaxe, but you need to have, I think it was an iron one, to mine these ores. And then going up from this path through there, you can go to this settlement and get the mirror, which is a good area to have. And you can do the same, kill bosses, not bosses, but enemies, and mine the ores, get loot. The next area, we're going to be going to the Prairie again, just so you know where to go. You want to go to the left, and this area doesn't really have any real enemies besides a few of the ogres. which live here, and you just want to go this way, up this. By the way, don't worry about how fast I'm going. I'm just lazy. There's a mirror here, and a guy you can talk to. This guy, don't worry about him if he doesn't show up. You need to defeat a boss for that. The next areas I'm going to show you is Big Bay. Big Bay is pretty annoying, but it's how you can get your first guns in the game. So you just want to go past here, try not to die to the canyons on the ships. It's a pretty unwelcoming area. And if you go all the way over here, it's a little shack with a mirror in it, and you can fish over here by talking to this guy. And do the same. There's no ores in this area, by the way. There's really enemies, and on that ship over there, there's a boss fight, so try and ignore that. Next, if you go back over this way, you have the savannah. Don't mind this guy, he sells some nice stuff, but you don't need it really. This area is pretty hard, I'd say. You got like people heavy hitting knives and some guns, and you got ants that shoot electrical like sparks from their eyes or mouth, whatever. Here's another area. You can get the mirror here, and there's a guy up there who has a quest, just to let you know. Also, if you go down to the docks here, you can buy other boats. I don't want to buy a boat. Don't fight this boss unless you're well prepared, because he's pretty tough. The next area, or once again, when we're going back to the area, I'll probably do a cut. Next area is swamp. You can get over to here by going through there, and it does change your perception a little bit on eyesight. But over here is another mirror. It's also pretty good. You got some people and some enemies over there, and on the ground in the water. The next area I'd say is the mountain. The mountain's right behind you, kind of where you spawned in. My next area is just the one I'm showing you. That's a meteor. That's a rare spawn. It's pretty cool. You don't have to get it up here the way I did. It's just a cool way. You want to go past here, ignore these guys if you're not strong enough. You want to go left. And over here, by the way, make sure to mine the ores. And here is another mirror. In this building. So we covered all these areas. Cloud City, Observatory, and Forgotten Village. This is the final boss fight. I'll probably do that in another video. So first is the village. So you go from the prairie, and you go over here. Past these guys. And this mirror is pretty hard to get, because you have to pass through several enemies. And it's really dark. But this is the way to the this is also a way to the boss fight in the game. So there are some enemies. So it's also a pretty hard area. You go here, you want to run past this guy, Chalk Man, because he's annoying. That scared me. Won't lie. And then, I think, where was it? Not that way. Where you go is over here, yep. Don't worry, that's water. You won't die if you fall in, just annoying. Go down this path. And over here, it's a pretty long and annoying path, so go to get the mirror. Drop down here. And then you're in the Forgotten Village, and the mirror is right here. Next is Cloud City. I think you want to go to Big Bay for this one. Yeah. So it's a pretty long journey. But basically, you're going to walk all the way down Big Bay beaches, fighting enemies if you have to. It's a very long walk. But basically, by the way, there's a boss fight up there in the mountains that you probably won't be able to get to. And there's a boss fight up there, which you don't really want to do because it'll be hard. But basically, you're going to walk down here. There's going to be some ladders that you can climb. I'm too good for ladders. Maybe not. And you want to talk to this bird. Oh, I fell off. That's not good. But basically, you talk to that bird, and he will send you to Cloud City. Cloud City is pretty nice. You have the Sky Battlegrounds over here, and this guy's quest for a boss. You can go down there, explore, and you see a slingshot here, right? And if it wasn't raining, there's a bunch of islands. If you do this guy's quest, you can go over there to that islands area, and that's where a boss and some enemies are. And Observatory, the most annoying. And also the best, or worst, depending on how you see it. When I go to the forest, when I go here, and you want to make sure that you have a boat, or at least a semi-good one. If you go down this beach, there's going to be a little pull. By the way, these pulls mean you can spawn a boat. And I'm pretty sure, I'm too good for boats, but you're going to walk down this area, row down this area in your boat. Just kind of follow the coastline, it's easier that way. And you're gonna go, you're probably gonna see this. That's a good sign. This area is pretty dangerous because it's a dangerous sea. Avoid those, that's an instant death trap. And basically, when you see this rock, you're gonna want to sail this way. So like kind of diagonal from the rock, or the rock's diagonal. There's a boss in these waters, so you want to be careful. But if you see here, this spire, fast here, you'll see an island. If you see this island, you just want to go left to the smaller one. And basically, you climb up here, there's some rocks and stuff. And you get the mirror here. It's kind of like an end, or mid to end game area. You've got your gem forger, who, if you kill a lot of bosses, it's like a rare drop that you can apply to weapons. It's what makes this weapon shiny, and this weapon glow, and this one too, and that. We got some rare loot here. I don't know what that is. You also got your better dummies in here, so this guy gives you a quest. So that's kind of like all the mirror locations. The passage, I'm not going to cover that. It's really annoying to get to. But now some of you may be wondering, like, how do I equip my weapons and move them around, and don't mind this, but and get armor on. Well, if you buy a weapon, it will appear in your inventory and you can drag it when you press E, or killing enemies have a percent chance to drop a sword or whatever weapon. And to equip like armors and accessory, you go here. You won't have as much as me because you're probably beginning, but you have helmets and you have armors and you have accessories, and this kind of what allows me to jump around. It's a build. It's what people like to call it. And you can have your loadouts tab where you have a bunch of builds, and then also the skills tab. Not many people notice the skills tab, but basically is what helps your build. It's like special kind of like perks, like gain damage when doing this, or just become more tanky, or new parry, you gain mana. And if you're kind of confused because you're an early game and you're like, why can't I get any of these? It's dependent on your level. I'm max level, which is level 30, which means I can have the maximum amount of skill tree points. And yeah, and that's kind of how you do the skills and loadouts and kind of learn the game, because there's no real tutorial besides that little skeleton guy in the cave. Well, this is my first video on Pilgrimmed. I hope you enjoy, and have a good day. Bye.